You can't take that, right? Every time you come up, mentions me, says anything, or do anything that I don't like, every time your current come up situation, I'ma drag you. And every time you bring your little girly self on here and saying something, I'ma drag you. Every time, Willie. I'm gonna drag you every time, Willie. Every time.
Papoose live was serious.
Hey, OG, that was a crazy line.
That was some crazy. It hit a little different for me because you remember I was there when they got together, so everything he talking about, I witnessed.
Hey, you know we've been sitting here waiting for your take.
You got to remember, Papoose was signed to K Slate. He met that woman in K Slate studio. So when that nigga said I landed overseas and they said they arrested you and I missed my show and did a turnaround, that ain't lying. Landed 12, 13-hour flight. I want to say he was in Africa or something. While he was in the air, they arrested him. When he landed, they called and told him to jump right back on the plane. He didn't leave the airport and came right back. Me and Slate telling this, you crazy. His man's name was going crazy. They're like, yo, Pat, nigga, we just did a 12-hour run. What you talking about? Bro, look, you can have somebody else belly. Let's knock the show out and then get back. Going up to that prison every week. Me and Slate thought he lost his mind. Slate would invite to our parties, would come to him sometime. He'd come in, he'd be there about 30, 45 minutes and cut back home. Bro, where you going? I got to get up and drive and go see Remy tomorrow. It's a fact.
That nigga discipline.
No, that nigga ain't lying. That nigga is not lying. He ain't doing no lying.
So what you think? Why you think Remy talking to him like that?
Here goes the problem, right? Here goes the problem. And I gotta watch myself when I say this because me and Pap got a long history. Remember, Papoose was signed to Slay. I was there with Pap through the Uncle Murder Wars. Me and that nigga got a lot of time in.
All right.
So he touched on it when he said, I was wondering why Fat Joe and nobody came to the table. Remy already had a history prior to. Pap seen the good in her. And he tried to tap into that and show her what it was like to have a man in her life. And that nigga ran to them penitentiaries for 6, 7 years. And then when she came home, because the buzz was around her, instead of working on his own, I've been telling y'all, Pap wrote her, been told y'all that.
Yeah, that's a fact.
That's Pap pen. So instead of focusing on his, he seen a light was on her, so he was writing her. This why when she was like, you ain't bring no money to the table, without his pen, it wouldn't have been no money. You get what I'm saying? So, and she was wrong for mentioning his kids, though, that. But I didn't know Easy the block captain left her and dissed her. I ain't know that. Somebody told me that today. Is that true?
It sounded like him in the live when she was talking earlier, when he was telling her to chill. It sounded like him in the background.
Oh, I don't know, but so me hearing, what he's saying, it wasn't no shock to hear what she had been doing. It's the old saying. I ain't gonna let it come out my mouth. It's Pap like a brother to me, but he know what time it is.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So hearing what it take a nigga to admit been going on 2, 3 years that you tried to go in there to counseling and Pap a different type of motherfucker. Been doing none of that. But he really was in love with that woman.
Do you think he should have just not said nothing and kept it offline like he's been doing? Or
Hell no, at some point you gotta speak.
right? Yeah, Love and R&B when Juby had it playing and everything. That was a big thing. Topic of it was whether or not he needed to speak or he should have stayed quiet. It was a
He
great
been
topic.
quiet. He ain't said nothing all this time.
Yeah, that was Lady Killer's. That's what Lady Killer had proposed.
Yeah, he hating on that on his girl. That's all it is. That's it. He ain't said he ain't said nothing all this time. See, this the cold part about Remy's live. I heard her say, out of all he been with, he got the least amount of money, some crazy shit like that, right? Well, what he been with ran in that penitentiary for 6, 7 years? What you been with wrote you them hits?
Yeah, he done truly invested in her.
Yeah, I don't know what you on. She got caused a lot of strain. Caused a strain with his relationship with K Slate. Yeah, she caused a lot of strain. And he's still by her side. K Slate would have definitely approved of his message. Yeah, for Pap to respond, she violated. I think she's gonna leave him alone though. She might want to leave that nigga alone. Yeah, that shit was wild. I wonder what made her trip out though.
That interview Clarissa did with the Breakfast Club.
What'd she say?
They had asked her, when her and Pop was gonna get married, and so she said, well, you already know it's the elephant in the room, meaning, he really ain't got divorced from Remy, so the topic of marriage kind of was off the table. And so they was like, I guess so. So I felt like right after that interview, like, I don't know if I don't know how long, but she came out and she had that long ass live. And so she made it seem like on the live that she had filed for divorce already. But the whole lie, she never filed for that divorce. So it was strange when he popped up online with the divorce papers or that he had filed for the divorce. So it's like, somebody be lying. Somebody lying. But it's giving she kind of want him back. That's what it's giving. She can say what she want, but I know if I didn't care about him, I wouldn't be opening my mouth about nobody. I don't care what we had.
Yeah, I don't think he doing that no more.
Yeah, that's done. That's over with.
Yeah, that was a wild one. I didn't expect that one. Nigga. Pap don't usually do none of that. That was different.
All right, y'all. Ain't much to say on this one, man. It's going to be a gender war thing. You know that, right? But what's going to break the tiebreaker, is that she did bad. And until you present evidence that he did bad, Rem looking bad. Man, woman, I don't care what you are. I hope they take this back behind closed doors. It's great for content. It's got the internet on fire. A lot to talk about. But for the sake of them two and the kids, I really hope somebody take their phones away from them. Know what I mean? You said what you needed to say. Now go ahead and make sure the kids ain't affected. You know what I mean? Anyway, man, I hope you have a good weekend. Appreciate the support. Till next time, man. We out.